Hello, Rose.
Hi, Jody. How are you today?
I am really excited to hear you read the most exciting, mind-blowing transmission and message that you got from Yeshua.
Yes, we were actually talking about what happened after the crucifixion, and a lot from since I come from a background of Catholic religion, it was really not talked about what happened afterwards. I mean, it was a little, but not really in detail.
Well,
So
it wasn't important because
yeah,
whatever happened after Jesus was not about Jesus. It was about
right,
carrying on what Jesus taught.
yeah, yeah,
And
and
the
carrying
only
on.
thing that was good and right was carrying on what the church said.
Yes, yes. And following the rules of the church and so forth, which there's a lot. But
Yeah. So I
so,
gotta say, before we were on here, Rose and I, before we pressed record, Rose and I were talking about how we would crash communion if we didn't have our if we didn't say we're like we have communion. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. I knew I could, I don't know, for whatever reason, I just knew that it was okay to take the communion, even though I hadn't gone to confess,
yeah,
so to speak, yeah, day before or whatever
you
at
felt
church.
that.
Yeah, I felt that. I felt that you
Yes, I
can.
felt that
Yeah,
too. Like we joke about it, like crashing communion, but I remember being very young, maybe 10, 12, I don't know.
yeah.
I was like, I can do
I
this.
can do this. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, okay, so let me read to you what Yeshua, the message he gave me yesterday. I asked what happened after the crucifixion, and I channeled this information from him. He said, the after the crucifixion, the Iceni awaited for dark and came for my body. They carried me wrapped in white fabric. They carried me, they carried my body out of the cave, a secret passageway. King Herod knew there was a secret passage at the back of the cave. He allowed the Esseni to come, retrieve my body through the passage. He informed them to leave the city, go far, and never to return. The Esseni quickly gathered their things and snuck out of the city through the tunnels, carrying my body until it was safe for them to restore me, heal me, bring me back to life form. The Esseni knew the power of the crystalline light, the power it possessed, and that it could be done, but time was important. There was 6 of them surrounded my body. They laid lifeless. They placed their hands over me, begun chanting, drums playing. My body quickly restored itself. My wounds were healed. This process was a few days long until it was complete. Arrangements had been made to escape by boat. We quickly gathered what we could and fled to the boat. We sailed out that evening in the moonlight, full moon. We arrived to a small fishing village outside of France. We were greeted by a humble family who offered us food and a warm place to stay. We stayed there until we moved to France. We could not move too far as Mary Magdalene was with child. There, there was discord among some of the disciples, as some felt it was important to move further quicker than possible. They were angry that Mary Magdalene was with child and could not move further, as she was to give birth at any time. The discord remained even after Mary gave birth to my beautiful daughter, Sarah. We stayed there for a while and then moved further into France. Some of the disciples began to separate themselves from the group, angry that Mary Magdalene had a voice to share her insights on the situation. They felt she had too much control and power over decisions and teachings of the sacred knowledge. Then I asked, Father, when you were restored after death, did you come back in the flesh? Yes. Father, I asked, Father, is it that you are in different locations? No, I asked, Father, how is it that you are in different locations at the same time? We have mastered the art of bilocation. And I asked, how does it work? And he said, gosh, this phone, I'm sorry.
Okay,
He
Rose.
said, bilocation is a form of high frequency energy mastered in one body, allowing us to project ourselves at a different location at the same time. We appear in human form as if in the flesh. This can be taught, but you must maintain your frequency of energy at its very highest point. It is part of the crystalline light, multidimensional universal.
There's so like pause, and there's so much in there, and there are so many holes that are being filled in, questions that we've had for centuries
That are being answered. Yeah.
that don't make sense in a lot of ways. Like, what do you mean that they brought him back to life, after days and days? But the stuff that I've been reading about their healing modalities, using crystals and using their energy force, and what I've seen with my own eyes that I am able to channel through, and you too.
That's right.
I think that if we hadn't experienced this ourselves, we wouldn't believe it. But I'm like, yeah, that's possible.
Yeah,
Sure.
it is. Yeah.
And the Templars are known to have underground. That's where, we got our septic system and all that kind of stuff. The Templars were known to be underground. They're saying, when I went to Glastonbury and I went to Glastonbury Abbey, that's where the first Christian church was like built, because they always said, we don't need a church, we just need to be together and gather. But they had this place to gather, and it was a round church. And all you have to do is like Google round churches, and some of them are still up and there.
So that, wow.
And that's the sacred geometry of the divine feminine as well, the circle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the Vesica Pisces. So anyway, I'm getting off track. So there was a little round, like thatched wooden church, and it burned down. And right where that was, you can go to Glastonbury Abbey now, and they're the ruins, but you can take probably like 10 steps down. I'll send you pictures, Rose. And I walked in there. Oh, I'm getting chills now. I walked in there and I just started like tears.
Yeah. Oh, because you could just feel it, I bet. Yes.
Yes. So, and I didn't know then. I wanted to know, why did I cry right there? Of the whole abbey, right? I was in all kinds of places. Glastonbury Abbey. I was at the Chalice Well. I went to Stonehenge. Nowhere else did I have that visceral, connected feeling. This divine gift, it felt like, was just raining on me. You know what that is, when the
Yes.
Holy Spirit and the, you
Yeah.
know, then I started looking, and Rose, you know, oh my God. So I go to the library, of course, in Glastonbury, and this is the oldest library, and it's only open, of course, for 2 hours or 4 hours that day. And I had 2 hours left in that window. And I went there and I was like, how am I going to find this book? What do you think happened? I
They
picked
led you to the book.
Yeah. I was like, all right, I'm just going to pick an old one in this vicinity. And it was this old
Mhm.
little book, and I took photos of the pages, and it described exactly, this is where the church was. It burned down. This is, you know, the story that I told you. And it was right there.
There. Wow, that is incredible. Beautiful.
And it's where the Mary and the Michael lines cross. So the ley lines, do you know about the ley lines?
No.
Okay. So basically they have energy lines, these ley lines between the water and energy lines. And that's what the grid is on Earth. So when we talk about light workers, you and I are light workers.
Oh, okay. Right. Yes.
We're meant to spread the message. Our electromagnetic frequency on the grid, literally on Earth, where we have our energy there. Well, under the Earth, we have ley lines as well. And so the Michael line and what they call the Mary line, two very important lines in England, cross.
Cross. Wow.
And that's why
And
they built
that's
the
where
church
it,
there.
yeah, that's why you felt that. That's why.
It's all of it. So we could walk across these places, but most of those places have churches on them, because they did that
Oh,
intentionally to harness the energy.
wow. Gosh, that is incredible.
Yeah. They've been doing that, yeah, for years. Like the Dowsers would go with their sticks and find.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So, all right, that's one part, the underground, the Templars. It made sense that they were underground. They would get their own water this way. And they would use that to escape these tunnels. So that part makes perfect sense to me, right? That
Yes.
they had tunnels and a secret passage.
Yes.
And about Herod, who
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to make Jesus a martyr.
Right. Right. He didn't want anything to do with it. You know what? Excuse me. My cat is wanting to come into my room. And she's she's pounding on this door.
Come in.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh. What I was going to say was, when, remember I asked you if anyone had talked about Herod arranging for Jesus' escape, and because that's what I was getting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were allowed to get out of here.
Yeah, that right. Just leave and don't come back. Yeah. He didn't want anything to do with his death or anything like that. Yeah. Because he felt it would be a curse. He felt it literally would be a curse to him.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking that would be another question to pose, if this is where they want us to go and give us answers and follow this along. Like, what were the political tensions of the day? Because the winners always write history or rewrite history, right? So I think that there must have been so many dynamics. Like Joseph of Arimathea was a bigwig in a lot of different places. The Roman army needed him. So that's why he was able to have one foot in each world. He was an Essene, a secret keeper of the Essene, they're saying. But he was also is it Santander? I'll have to look. Sanhedrin in religion. And then he was also a tin miner. So he would take his ships and go all over, up to Glastonbury and Wales and mine tin. The Roman army needed him. So he just, I mean, it's pretty incredible what he did. The secrets he kept, the keeping it all together. Yeah.
To help move. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the whole thing is incredible. And when I channeled this message, I was like, wow. I immediately texted you and told you, look what I got. Yeah, this is confirmation. Yeah.
And I think it's fantastic, again, that you and I are coming together. And I showed you all my books, right? And I got all my books back here. I'm reading this stuff, but you are not, right? Like you're taking care of your grandson, you're, doing other things. And I love to do this. So you're getting these messages. I'm getting some, but nothing like that. But I'm able to fill in.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is why whenever I get a message, I run it by you and say, okay, is this, have you heard of this before? Yeah. And you're like, yes.
As a matter of fact,
here's something on it.
Yeah. Right. They're showing me an image of a zipper.
Yeah.
Going up. You and I are coming together and zip.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, let's do the next one and we can talk like even more about this, because I think that just touched the tip of the iceberg on this particular message.
Yeah.
And we can even go through it like line by line or open the records on the next one and talk about it.
Yeah, that would be good. Opening the records and talk about it. Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Perfect. Thank you, Rose.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, so stay tuned for more information. This is like a mind-blowing one. So follow Rose to subscribe to Rose. She puts these messages on her community tab. And so you can read it there. You can hear it here, read it there. Pretty soon we'll have it up on a podcast. We've got a lot to do with that. I'll do that.
Yes.
I think so. But for now,
thank you everyone.